It's time. WWE Survivor Series results and predictions coming up. Survivor Series predictions. I'm about to get into it right now.
It's showtime, folks!
All right. It's WWE Survivor Series. It's time. It's this Sunday. The go-home shows have concluded, which means I'm here to give my predictions and results for this week's pay-per-view event or network special. But before I get into that, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to this page, that notification bell to be notified of every video that I make. And also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at that is no longer my Twitter name. My Twitter name is o.m.g now. Excuse me. So follow me there. And let's get right on into this. Now, first of all, you see why I don't do these things prior to the last go home show, because we had so much shuffling going on. It's like the decision makers in WWE got to the card, and like 2 weeks before they looked at the results and were like, we can't do all this. We gotta switch this up somehow. And you know what? It's been pretty well done. I gotta give it to them. I don't agree with everything, but for the most part, the switches have been done really well. So let's get right on into it. Speaking of a match that has switched, we have the Raw Tag Team Champions Sheamus and Cesaro versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Look, I thought that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus the Usos, I was ready for that to just annihilate and tear down the house. And I was kind of upset a little bit when it changed, although we got something great out of that. And we also still will have what will be a really good match. Obviously, Sheamus and Cesaro can go with anybody. And the Usos has been on a hot roll, for a good little while now. And I expect a fantastic matchup here. In the end, I'm going to go with the Usos to pick up the victory. I think they could really use it. And, well, Sheamus and Cesaro could use it as well, but I think the Usos will pick up the victory to head into their momentum, keep their momentum going, in their feud with Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. So the Usos will be your winner here. All right, next up we have the Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore versus Kalisto in their rematch. And this is the one match on the card that's kind of but I gotta admit, Enzo and Drew Gulak's act has been pretty funny as of late. I don't find it annoying anymore, and they had a pretty good tag team match to set up this match on the go-home show of Raw. So I don't expect anything mind-blowing from this match. It's the one match that I don't really expect to be great, but in the end, you gotta have Enzo Amore retain here just to stop the back and forth switches of the Cruiserweight Championship. You can't have it going back and forth like that. So Enzo Amore will retain this match. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. Intercontinental Champion The Miz versus United States Champion Baron Corbin. I gotta admit, this feud here, when the match was first announced, I thought, okay, I don't want any of this at all. However, the way that this feud has been built throughout these Twitter exchanges have been really entertaining. Although my one critique was that I wanted all of that on TV instead of on Twitter. Some of it did carry into TV, which made it entertaining enough for me. And I'm invested into this one, and I'm interested to see what goes down. I'm not sure of what type of match they can have. The Miz is very willing, capable wrestler. Baron Corbin, it depends on the type of opponent he's in the ring with, but I expect a good match that will keep the crowd alive. And in the end, I have Baron Corbin picking up the win. You know, normally you would think the Miz would win this one, but I have Baron Corbin picking up the win here. So next up, we have in another shuffle, we have the Raw Women's Championship match. We have Alexa Bliss versus the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte. And this is another one of those switches to where I think WWE looked at the card and was like, we got to shake this one up. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss feels like a much grander match than Alexa Bliss and Natalya. Don't get me wrong, I was looking forward to Alexa Bliss and Natalya. I thought it was going to be a really good match. But Charlotte and Alexa Bliss is just on a tad bit of a different level and a step above from Alexa Bliss and Natalya. I expect this to be a really good match, possible show stealer if they give it enough time. And, you know, with the way that the previous SmackDown ended, you had the Raw engaging in their siege, and it also featured Alexa Bliss with a vicious forearm to Charlotte. That was just so well done. She stood tall in the go home show. But when I look at it, the person that can use the victory the most here is Charlotte, because she just won the SmackDown Women's Championship. You can't have her taking a loss right after she won the title. So therefore, I'm going to say that Charlotte will win this match. And I think it will be a phenomenal match. I can't wait to see it. So, next up, and yet another change, this is going to be a really good match. I don't know if this qualifies for show stealer, but we have The Shield versus The New Day. This is one of the main matches. So, you know my rule, if it's considered as a part of one of the main parts of the show, it can't be a show stealer. We have The Shield and The New Day. The New Day have just been on fire in their matches with the Usos, and it doesn't matter who they get in the ring with. The Usos, it doesn't matter. Gable, it doesn't matter. Gable and Benjamin, whomever you want to throw them in with, they can contrast with their styles and fit them perfectly. And The Shield, they have two really good workers, and Roman is good for the most part. What I'm hoping for in this match is that they just let these guys just fly. We don't need to have a technical start to start this match. We don't need to just ease our way into the match. No, we just need to just have a beat. One of those type of matches that just starts on the outside of the ring and just gets the crowd into it. Kind of like how the SummerSlam main event was. It just started on the outside of the ring and the crowd just went crazy. And I'm hoping for that here. I'm hoping we get a situation to where we get a case of the action spilling outside into the fans. I really like that when it's done well at times. So I'm hoping for that here. In the end, as for the result, the Shield has to win this one, in my opinion. It is their very first match back as a group, and look, I am a huge fan of the New Day, and on a normal basis, I would want them to win this match, but it's Shield's first match, so I'm going to go with them to win it. All right. We have the two big elimination matches of the night. We're going to start with the women. We have Alicia Fox on Team Rock, the captain, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. And I'm assuming that Natalya is just going to take Charlotte's spot here. She's going to be with Carmella, Naomi, and Tamina. Look, from what I remember of last year's match, being pretty good. And I think that, yes, that opened the show, if I'm not mistaken. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it. The crowd was hot for it. And I very much expect the same to happen here. Last year, my eyes was on where the Four Horsemen woman would be. And that's why I came down to my result. And this year's evened up. I think again as well, but looking at this case, I expect it to be a phenomenal match. But in this case, how I'm gonna determine my winner here is which single wrestler needs this win the most. There are a lot of candidates for that, but with Asuka just returning, well, not just returning, but she's fresh into her debut. They're still trying to build her up into a monster, and this is the perfect way to get that done. Have her come out as the sole survivor, and that is my prediction. Asuka will come out as the sole survivor, and Team Raw will be your winner here in the women's match up. All right, we're gonna move on to the men, and we have yet another change. We have Kurt Angle from the men's side. On the Raw side, excuse me, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Triple H. On the SmackDown side, Shane McMahon, Orton, Nakamura, Rude, and John Cena. Look, I have a problem with one small thing here, and that's Triple H being in this match. I understand that Jason Jordan, look, this was the correct call to make, to which brings, my question would be, why even put him in the match in the first place if you were going to go down this route? What I have a problem with is John Cena and Triple H being in this match. What you should have had is, look, John Cena was on Raw programming the last time I saw him, so he should have been on Team Raw. Kurt Angle should have called in a favor, and then you have John Cena on Raw. You put Rusev on Team SmackDown, and that works out a whole lot better for me. But here we are. We had Team SmackDown destroy. Well, excuse me, we had Raw destroy Team SmackDown in this latest episode of SmackDown. Braun Strowman standing tall. Samoa Joe and the Shield wrecking up the place. The whole build has been entertaining. It's been lacking at times. It's been kind of hurt by inactivity with Roman Reigns being out. It kind of stopped Raw's siege from happening. It took a long time to get here, but once it did happen, it was really well done. In the end, this is the toughest one of the night. I look at this, and you have Braun Strowman. You think he'd be the sole survivor in this, and that makes the most sense, but I think they're gonna throw a curveball here, and Braun Strowman is gonna be one of those shockingly eliminated people where, you know, the elimination comes out of nowhere. It's a shock. So looking at the end result, I'm gonna go with Team SmackDown here, and I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura as your sole survivor. Look, this match here, what I remember about this match last year is that it went like 35 to 40 minutes, and it was the longest, driest match ever. And I hope this doesn't go that long. We don't need 35 minutes. I mean, just let it go 20 to 25 minutes, and it can be a very exciting match. Nakamura as your sole survivor, and hopefully that will be setting Nakamura up for his run and lead up to a title match with AJ Styles down the line. That's just wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. And speaking of AJ Styles, that leads me to the final match of the night. Your WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus your WWE Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Look, as I mentioned in the previous video, WWE came to sense that Jinder Mahal just wasn't right for this matchup, and that's nobody's fault but their own. They didn't give the guy a chance to succeed. They didn't put him in a great position of strength in his storylines. But looking at this match, this is a first time match. This is a dream match. This is a WrestleMania caliber match. And what I expect here, I'm worried that, you know, we'll have the same Brock Lesnar match. But for whatever reason, the way I felt about this match a couple of weeks ago has just swung entirely. I think Brock is going to give enough of an effort because AJ Styles is going to get in that ring. I think AJ is going to pull out a great match out of Brock Lesnar. He's not going to go into his same old, lazy suplex, the whole match scenario and match layout. Hopefully, they don't do that. But I expect a phenomenal match here. And looking at the result, last year, Brock Lesnar Goldberg. Everybody thought, Brock Lesnar's going to get this done. This is going to be over with. Then surprise, surprise, Goldberg wins it. Looking at AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, I've always thought that, Brock is not losing until WrestleMania. But for whatever reasoning, and maybe that reasoning is he won't be hurt entirely if he lost this match. I'm going to go with the big, bold prediction and say you heard it here first. AJ Styles will pull the upset of the year off on Brock Lesnar. The fans will go crazy. And not only the fans in the arena, the fans across the world will go crazy. I mean, it won't be a benefit. It's not like it's a unification match, but this would be a huge win for AJ Styles. It would just further supplant him as the most talented, the most useful, and the greatest asset in WWE. He will get the win, and it will be a phenomenal victory and a phenomenal close to the show. That is my bold prediction for this match, and those are my predictions for this pay-per-view. I will be watching this Sunday. I cannot wait. I gotta admit, for the first time in an extremely long time, this is the first WWE event that I'm looking forward more to than NXT TakeOver. And looking at the matches, it's because I'm interested in nearly every match. It's not too many matches where I look at it and I'm like, pretty much the entire card, almost the entire card is a match where you think this is going to be if they just do it right, this is going to be a really good match. And I'm excited for the event. It's an exhibition match. No, nothing's on the line, but at least the matches are going to be really good. And I will be watching it. You can follow me at o.m.g Corey B. I will be live tweeting, so make sure to follow me there. Follow what I think on the matches, and I'll be back next week to give my thoughts on the pay-per-view and my thoughts on the matches. I will see you this Sunday. I cannot wait. Survivor Series, elimination matches, AJ Styles versus Lesnar. It is on.